Jamie, thank you for speaking to us today. I mean, so difficult to know really what to ask you and what you even say in this situation. I imagine when you heard the news, it was just utter disbelief.
Yeah, just in a state of shock, really. I think not just with anyone associated to sort of Liverpool, but I think football in general. It is a time, one of the few times probably when we all come together, the football family really, and just cannot believe it. The news today, so sad for everybody involved, but especially his family and his wife, and obviously, the three wonderful children that they've got. Devastating for all involved, of course, yeah.
A lot of us know what he brought the footballing world, but what was he like as a person, Jamie?
Well, I mean, in the role now, obviously, I'm associated with the club for playing in the past, but I mean, I don't know the current players particularly well, so I won't pretend to know Diogo, as I said, particularly well. But he lived really close to us. He was only basically a few hundred yards around the corner from us, but kept himself to himself. Yeah, he came across as probably not the typical way that maybe some people portray Premier League footballers. He seemed very quiet, very humble, real family man. Went about his business, did his business on the pitch, very quiet, as I said, and humble off the pitch, and just seemed like a really great guy, great footballer. But at the moment it's not really about that. So it is really difficult to find the words of what to say about him. But I think more importantly right now, it's not really about the football or Liverpool, if you like. It's about certainly his family right now, and what his parents are going through, and his lovely wife and three lovely kids.
Yeah, and they are the front and heart of everything, really. Thoughts with his wife. He was married just less than 2 weeks ago. His three very young children as well, and of course parents who've lost two sons. He passed away in that car crash alongside his brother. So of course we think of him as a family first, a family man first, but as a footballer, and what I guess he meant to the fans as well. We're seeing a lot of them lay wreaths and flowers. They're hearing the news, and down at Anfield it's eerily quiet round there. It's unfortunately a club that has suffered imaginable tragedy over the years as well, and have now lost one of their own at just 28 years old. And you can't imagine what the fans must be feeling.
Yeah, listen, as I said before, I don't think it's just Liverpool fans. They will feel a little bit more maybe than others, understandably so. But I think the whole of football comes together in situations like that, and you just think of it, as I said, that the summer that he's had, he's probably going into the prime of his career. He's just won, the league title with Liverpool, the Nations League with Portugal. He's married 2 weeks ago, and I think it probably just shows us all, doesn't it, how quickly life can change. And you think, what a summer he's had, what a time he's had, him and his family. Then you get this, devastating news that his parents, his wife, friends, and family have had. In the last sort of few hours or so, you can't even comprehend it really. And it probably makes us all step back a little bit, and take things in about how important or how unimportant certain things are. Maybe football in itself is really. And we all get, at times, myself included, we get passionate about the game, we get heated about the game. But at times like this, you just think, why, what for? When you think of this, what's happened to him, what it's going to mean for the people around him.
And of course they'll begin the defence of their Premier League title without him in their side, having celebrated that, of course, last season. They'll have that opening game on Sky, which will become a very, very different match altogether. I'm sure a huge match where big tributes will be paid for him.
Well, yeah, and we'll build it up, and rightly so, Sky Sports, in terms the start of the new Premier League season, and we get excited because we love football and that. But I think for everybody in the game, certainly in England and the Premier League, I think that that weekend, or certainly the Liverpool game on the Friday night, will be about Diogo Jota, not so much about whether Liverpool get the 3 points or not. It'll be a huge outpouring of emotion, and rightly so, because you mentioned the supporters before, but you think of the players. He's been at the club now, I think, probably 5 or 6 years. The relationships he'll have with those players, how those players will feel today, And you know what those group of players have done, really, for Liverpool over the last sort of 6 or 7 years. You know, the memories they will have had together, and what they've given to those supporters and the joy they've given to them. So I didn't know Diogo particularly well, to be honest, but I'm sort of in a state of shock and devastated today. So I can only imagine how his teammates feel for sort of, you know, Liverpool and Portugal right now. I mean, they must be, you know, just in a world of pain with his friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure, I mean, Liverpool Football Club will do everything to support the staff at the club affected by it, the people he worked in and around at the training ground and on match days, but particularly his teammates as well, because they'll be returning from holidays, you'd imagine, as well, coming back to Liverpool and I guess coming together as a unit. And yes, they'll be devastated about this, but you'd imagine it would bring them together, Jamie, in a very different way.
Yeah, and listen, whatever way, you know, the players deal with it, they'll all deal with it differently, as will the staff and the club. But I'm sure when, you know, Liverpool get back to, you know, playing football, I would imagine would be a feeling within the club and the dressing room, let's do certain things for our mate, really, who's done so much to help us, whether that was on the pitch with the football club or off the pitch, in terms of relationships with other players, or the relationships with, you know, families, with other families as well. It's a, you know, big part, especially when foreign players come over to this country. At times they're isolated, they're on their own, and you know, they have to mix really well to help each other sort of, you know, get through it. They don't maybe have as many friends and family around them as maybe someone like myself did when I was playing. So I can imagine this is going to really hit his teammates really tough. But I'm sure those players and, you know, the football club will come together and try and make season or whatever it will be in the future. You know, and always think of their mate Diogo.
Jamie, look, it really is hard to know what to say, isn't it? We really appreciate you spending the time on this truly tragic day. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.